What's good, family? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? What up? What's good, Eli? What's good, Black Canadian? What's up? First, yes, baby, we live. Yes, sir. Watching Bron blow defensive assignments in 4K. Getting ready for this big Knicks Raptors game. It's almost split before tip-off. IQ 40 piece on the Knicks head tops loading. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Come on. Ah. Yo, they just keep praying on my downfall, bro. That's crazy. But hey, man, welcome back to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, we got a lot on the docket today, man. We're gonna do a pretty big segment on the Philadelphia 76ers. There's a little buzz going around on whether or not these guys are potential championship contenders. So we'll talk about that, whether they aren't, what they could be doing better, because I have some ideas as to things that they could be doing a little bit better if they want to if they want to take that step. Intelligent quickly. I ain't saying that the Ayo like the live. Oh man, that's good. That's good. I love that. Yeah, if you have not done so already, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We truly appreciate that. Is Paul George really playoff B? That's the question. That is the question. Now, I'm glad you brought up my New York Knicks, Black Canadian, because I think that's a pretty good place to start. Because where was this? When it comes to my team as of late, and I think I'm as hard on my team as anybody, when it comes to critiquing them. And realistically, because realistically, some of these games that we've won as of late, like that Brooklyn Nets game, that team was just awful and constantly took awful shots during the course of that game. And that was more so the reason for that blowout, as opposed to us actually playing great defense. And we're going to take a look in just 1 second where I think this blunder really happened for Sacramento against my New York Knicks. On the Knicks' way to a 103-87 victory. There was like 3.5 minutes left in the game. We were up 93-85, and there was a chance up until that point. DeMar DeRozan was doing a pretty good job of getting good shots in the half court in the fourth quarter until, you know, shit kind of hit the fan. Luka hurt his ankle because the Cavs float wants to pretend it's floating. PG just in good moment. I really don't see it being sustained or him being a huge factor come playoffs. So let's take a look very quickly at this game. In this game, let's take a look at the final totals. DeMar had 34. And then Jalen Brunson had 28. 52.9% shooting. So he had a really good shooting night. But let's take a look at the back-to-back plays that I think really cost Sacramento Kings the game. The Knicks currently don't have an identity. Bro, skip me. Excuse me? What's happening? Yeah, man. I think we definitely got a lot to talk about when it comes to my New York Knicks, man. Let's take a look at this.
Keeps his dribble. That's what you do. Keep your head up, eyes open.
And I think Mitchell Robinson does a pretty good job defensively in this scenario. But I also kind of put the blame on Domantas Sabonis for not being more aggressive or putting up a better shot.
He has the hook shot in his repertoire.
Bump. Takes a fading hook shot that's all air.
Over Robinson.
Russell Westbrook gets the ball back. And so there is no, you know, the shot clock doesn't reset because it was an air ball. He gets a rebound.
Westbrook
throws it off the backboard in an attempt to again get Domantas Sabonis the basketball.
Westbrook
Threw it off the side of the
absolute
backboard.
blunder by both Sabonis and Westbrook. And then that was compounded by this play right over here. Russell Westbrook, isolation at the top of the key. Achua's coming up to set the pick. DeMar's clearing the right side. Sabonis is also clearing the right side. And instead of Russell Westbrook attacking Jalen Brunson in this situation, he can try to get to his right hand kick out corner. Sabonis is really good at backpicking in scenarios like this.
Westbrook,
but instead he settles
with Brunson. Has to hoist at
for
the
a
end of the
tough shot. And that's pretty much the game right there. Again, I think my New York Knicks are barely escaping some of these games, man. It's really tough to watch sometimes because we can't keep counting on teams to beat themselves, right? And I think that's really the key piece that I want to talk about today is the good teams versus the bad teams. There's things that these good teams do consistently that bad teams don't, right? The Knicks have a good record, but we rely on our talent rather than good basketball, putting guys in good spots to be successful, and instead we rely on these hero plays, and I think that's really part of the issue that we're having right now. Like they play good ball, but they used to be defensively what we see in the Thunder. Man, just give me Giannis. Milwaukee don't want no cat. They want that intelligence. See, see, Black Canadian, I would love to say that they are playing good ball, but they really haven't been. Karl Anthony Towns, I was talking about the other day. I think his inability to be effective right now is really hurting the team, right? It's hurting the pecking order. It's forcing guys to take tougher shots because, one, he's not causing gravity towards him, right? Which I think is the biggest thing in basketball. If you are a player that forces the defense to defend you, multiple eyes on you. You can suck in the defense. That allows easy shots for everybody. And right now with Karl Anthony Towns, the way he's been performing, if he catches it, he's going to get an offensive foul on the drive. And he's uncomfortable. His timing is all off. His three ball is not going down the way it usually is. And you know, ultimately that falls on Jalen Brunson to make tougher shots, Mikal Bridges to make tougher shots, and OG Anunoby to make tougher shots. And, you know, instead of us being in positions to be successful all the time, it's a lot of one-on-one. And that's really what it comes down to, you know, compared to a team like for example, I think the Denver Nuggets, I feel like the Denver Nuggets play a pretty good brand of basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder, not to say that they don't play isolation basketball, because they absolutely do. The Thunder rely heavily on SGA, but they also move. The players move, right? Whether or not they get the ball, I think is irrelevant. But when you watch the game, they're slot cutting, corner cutting, instead of just kind of standing around. And I feel like there's nights where we could do that, being the New York Knicks, but there's also a lot of nights where we could kind of just stand around and watch, and it's really hurting us right now. I've been seeing like 2 games for the Knicks in the last month or so. 2 of the ones I saw, they seemed like the offense was okay, just missing a shot. You saying the offense lost confidence completely? I think we're in a. I mean, we were during that losing stretch. We just had a 5-game losing streak. There was the players only meeting that Jalen Brunson had called, and I'm telling you, Karl Anthony Towns, it's really been an issue, man. He's had way too many single-digit scoring nights as of late. And instead of being that guy that can relieve pressure off of Jalen Brunson, that has not been the case. That has not been the case. So, you know, there's some problems in New York, man, for sure. There's some problems in New York. I feel like we're not utilizing our talent the way we're supposed to be. Hello, Jason and everyone. What's good, Bruce? Oh, nah. Players only meeting. Yes, sir. Yep. So Cat is scapegoat. I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing their games at all, Bruce, but he's put up a lot of stinkers. It's one thing, I know we've talked about it on the show before. It's one thing for a player to go 5 for 20 or have a 7 for 23 shooting night, but to go 2 of 6, right, shows a lack of aggression. But, you know, when it comes to Karl Anthony Towns, it's that, but it's also the foul trouble. Right, he's getting a lot of turnovers on offensive fouls because he's incapable of getting into a jump stop. When he drives, you know he's going to 1-2 step, and people have been hip to it, and they've been drawing a lot of offensive fouls on him. And then on the defensive side, he's been picking up a lot of bad fouls as well. So it's just this snowball effect with Cat. And you know, if his 3 ball's not going and these other parts of his game aren't going, you're just getting, he's negatively impacting the team in that scenario. Players only meeting usually mean the season is cooked. Yeah. And again, how he's supposed to control himself with all the men's around him, he gonna touch it. Like, bro, it really is like that, bro. It really is, man. He was getting bullied by Russell Westbrook in this game. I don't love it, man. I don't love it. And I feel like we're really wasting some really good years under Jalen Brunson, instead of building off of that good run that we had last season. But instead, it feels like we've taken 2 steps back. It really does. It really, really does feel like that. Now, from a 1 contender to Oh, what the fuck? To potentially another. What do we think about the Boston Celtics, y'all? What do we think about the Boston Celtics? They just beat Portland the other day, 102-94. Jaylen Brown had himself 20. Another solid shooting night, 8 of 17. Peyton Pritchard added in 23. Derek White had 18. What do we think about the potential of the Boston Celtics making a deep playoff run this season? Brunson is a dog. If he had teammates like Scotty Barnes, you and Elijah, bro. You and Elijah. Because Jayson Tatum is an all-NBA player, right? Jayson Tatum undeniably is an all-NBA player. And I think this is a question that's on everyone's mind. And, you know, Ryan Howard on the Pivot podcast just kept it real and asked Jayson Tatum. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if they hit us with an ad.
Work myself back into being who I am.
That's something I contemplate every day. More so about, you know, the team, you know, if or when I do come back this season, like, they would have played 50 some odd games without me, right? So they have an identity this year or things that they've, you know, felt that has clicked for them, and it's been successful, right? You know, second team in the East up to this point. So there is a thought in my head is like, you know, how does that work, or how does that look, you know, with me, you know, integrating myself off an injury and 50, 60 games into a season? You know, obviously could be some challenges, and, you know, it is a thought like, damn, do I come back or should I wait? It's something that I honestly, recently in the last like 2 weeks or so, kind of contemplate every single day.
And I appreciate Jayson Tatum being honest about that, because it really is. What did I say? What did I call him? Ryan Clark. What did I call him? Did I call him Ryan Howard? I think I did. No bias. No bias. Scotty would be the perfect low man for this help. I mean, he would be. He would be. Tatum knows it's not his team anymore. So what do you guys think? What do you guys actually think? What do you guys actually think, man? Because what time does that game start? Oh, this in a little bit. Tatum knows it's not his team anymore. So what would you guys do in this situation, man? What would y'all do in this situation? Would you guys let me try to get through these topics. I'll put it on in the background. What would you guys do in this situation? Would you guys have Jayson Tatum come back? Let's do it from both perspectives, right? From the team perspective, would you want Jayson Tatum to come back? From Jayson Tatum's perspective, would you want to come back? Right? And I think that's such a difficult spot to be in on both sides. On the team aspect, right? You would obviously want Tatum to play, because one, as a teammate, it would just be wrong to say that, right? Let's just be blunt with it. But the other side of it also, as players that play in the NBA and have gone through that season, you also know that there is a big difference between playing pickup and training in the gym versus high level basketball against guys that have been playing for the last couple of months straight. And then it's picking up going into the playoffs. And like what Jayson Tatum said, they've developed an identity. They've developed their pecking order. And they've got a system that's been working. And talking about gravity, like Jayson Tatum, when he's on the court, unless your name is Steve Kerr, is a player that demands the basketball. Not that he actually demands it, but his talent and what he's able to bring to the game demands that, right? He creates a lot of gravity to him on the basketball court. He creates double teams. He creates mismatches. He does a lot. So at the same time, knowing this is someone that needs to get in NBA shape, in season to in playoff shape, there's also the part of you as a teammate that says, damn, I got it. It's Jayson Tatum, right? And that puts them in a really tough spot. And then if you're Jayson Tatum, it's like you obviously want to compete. You obviously want to play, and you didn't work all of that time to not play, right? I'm sure that's a part of it too, right? The ego is speaking in the sense of, I didn't work this hard for nothing. Like, I want to show you guys sooner rather than later that I've worked my ass off to get back to Jayson Tatum. But I think the reality is you could really hurt this team. Whether it's you're not yourself and you're trying to be, and everyone is in this weird vibe, but there's also the aspect of, one, you could come back too early and potentially hurt yourself even more. But two, again, do you want to do that in the middle of a run? So, if the team wasn't good, he should sit. If they good, make a push, no excuse. Tatum has to start showing up at practice so the guys slowly fall in line for when he's back. But don't you think that could potentially hurt? Let's not even talk about the first option, second option, just in terms of, this is a guy working himself back, right? He's been playing against coaches. Not, that's not Luka Doncic across from him, right? Everyone knows this Boston run ain't real if Tatum never comes back. But I think, okay, how about this? Then let's take this a step further. How would you deal with the Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown situation? Right? So I'm assuming if he's to come back this season, he's effectively the second option, right? I think realistically in the near future, he would essentially be more of a decoy, right? More of a point guard, more of a facilitator. And I'm assuming that Jaylen Brown would still be operating as that first point of attack player, getting downhill. Peyton Pritchard is getting shots and so on and so forth. But long term, how does that work? Because I think they do things, they operate very differently, right? When you look at the offense in Jaylen Brown's hand versus Jayson Tatum's hand, I do like the movement with Jaylen Brown as sort of the point of attack, because Jaylen Brown is going to catch the ball. He's going to make a quick move. He's going to try to get downhill. If there isn't a shot, he's going to get off of it. And I think Jayson Tatum, for the most part, does the same thing, but he has the ball a little bit more, right? He's going to run a little bit more pick and roll. He's going to be the one making the decision. Jayson Tatum pulls the ball all the way back to half court to bring the double team out. Like, there are little things that Jayson Tatum does that Jaylen Brown doesn't necessarily do. And I think it's a matter of them just figuring out a flow, right? Figuring out when the other one is going to attack. But like I said, in the near future, it would have to be Jaylen Brown. Now, realistically, they always got similar amount of touches. Jaylen was always that role, even with Tatum. I mean, yeah, I guess Jaylen Brown got his fair share of isolation touches, but I think especially before, Tatum had the isolation touches, but he was also bringing the ball up, running high pick and roll, give the ball up, get it back, run another pick and roll. Like, Tatum was just constantly on the basketball, and their offense looked a little bit different. I think Jaylen Brown gets off the ball quicker than Jayson Tatum. And I think that has everything to do with his role before, right? That's been his role. He was never the high pick and roll guy. So I think there is a lot to figure out if he's 100% healthy. And they want to make a run with the Eastern Conference that's open, even though I think it's going to be tougher to get out of the East than a lot of people say. I think that's definitely something that you consider, because again, Tatum is a good basketball player. Tatum's a very good basketball player. But what do we think about this other? Where's this other comment that he had? He had another comment over here. Let's see.
I had it with the thing they all have in common is they won. They won one or multiple championships. So as, you striving to be a great player, it's like, the career I had right now, if I had it with the Grizzlies, like, I would have a statue outside the arena.
Right.
But now I'm chasing people like Larry Bird, where the standard is so much higher. And it's like, you don't want to be the great player of the Celtics that, oh, you the one guy that didn't win, like Bill Russell.
Bang, bang, bang. That shot's at Memphis. The random Memphis stray, but it is true. It is true. More than likely, he would be the best player out of Memphis had he had his career in Memphis right now, right? But yeah, random stray. Random stray. I'm sure he gonna get booed in Memphis. I'm sure of it. He not wrong, but it's just a funny random ass stray. I think this is a really good time because this just had vintage Joel Embiid and vintage Paul George all over it. And I'm talking about the Philadelphia 76ers against the Milwaukee Bucks. Embiid and PG combined for 61 points. Joel Embiid had 29. Paul George had 32. Paul George was 9 of 15 from the three-point line. He was shooting the lights out. Tyrese Maxey added 22 points. And because of the standings, right? Because of the standings, Philadelphia is currently 6th in the Eastern Conference at 25 and 21. And Embiid is looking healthier than ever. Like, literally healthier than ever. With plays like this, right? With plays like this.
Cutting off ball handlers like this has made a huge difference in Nick Nurse's eyes on this end of the floor. He impacts there. Lob it towards the rim. Embiid! The process.
So you can see how excited everybody is in Philadelphia. And so when it comes to this, right, you got Joel Embiid looking like he's the healthiest he's ever been. Paul George is slowly coming back. Tyrese Maxey is doing what he's doing. So you essentially have a MVP candidate right now in Tyrese Maxey, a former MVP in Joel Embiid, and also a former MVP candidate in Paul George. And it's got a lot of people wondering whether or not the Philadelphia 76ers can make a run for a championship with, again, the wide open Eastern Conference. And that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent. Now, The question is, will Paul George be shooting 60% from three consistently? Right? Let me run through the issues right now. Number one is health, right? Paul George and Joel Embiid and their health. That is number one, top of the list, health. Will they be healthy? Number two, Paul George is a streaky three-point shooter, right? With what this team needs from Paul George right now, he's a streaky three-point shooter. And so, in my opinion, with what his role should be as the third option, he's more of the filler guy, right? He's gonna get his isolations, but he's got to make the most out of his catch and shoots. Quick drives off of kickouts and so on, and also be a bit of a playmaker when he can be. But the two players that really create a lot of gravity towards them is number one, Tyrese Maxey, and number two, Joel Embiid, except Joel Embiid is a jump shooter nowadays, right? Joel Embiid at this point in his career, with all the injuries, despite that alley-oop that I showed, is more of a jump shooter. And so that leaves it to Tyrese Maxey. Now, I've been saying Philly is sneaky good. I think they are, but I think it really comes down to Tyrese Maxey. This guy is an engine, right? The amount of gravity, and we'll take a look at this right here. The amount of gravity that Tyrese Maxey is able to create is unbelievable.
Comes in.
And no moves. There's no, I mean, you could look at a Tyrese Maxey highlight reel and there's some moves in there, but this is no bag work. This is just this is hitting the nitrous in Fast and Furious.
Within the NBA in three-point shooting.
He's literally, watch this. He's waiting for Bobby Portis to turn his head and go downhill, and he will run behind them.
46.5% from the outside. Maxey got the step in.
I mean, like, zero move. Just no move. 4:46 in the second.
Just always.
Now, this is, again, how much gravity Tyrese Maxey creates. But this is where they could really improve as a team, right? If Paul George and Joel Embiid are healthy, VJ Edgecombe is in a weird spot, right? Because he's not going to get that many touches. He's not going to get isolations. He's going to have to be effective in his catch and shoots and his catch and drives. But where he can really make an impact on this team, even with all of these guys on the floor, is to take advantage of possessions like this, right? Look at all of the eyes on Tyrese Maxey. At this point, there are effectively 4 players guarding Tyrese Maxey. The trailer, Miles Turner, who's lifted, who's his green, and Kuzma. And VJ Edgecombe, you gotta run your ass to the rim and get an alley-oop. Look, he's looking at it. He's looking at it. Big is lifted. The big is lifted. And you need to be able to use your athleticism because, again, you're not going to get that many isolation touches. You're not going to get those with these guys healthy. So one way that you can try to mitigate that and still get your points and get your buckets is by using that athleticism. This is an easy cut right here that he should be making.
With the ball in his hands, he'll step back.
Tyrese is what I was hoping. IQ could potentially be a percent of he shows flashes. He's definitely been showing some flashes. Y'all need a trade cat. Listen, man. Listen, it's sad over there. It's sad over there. Well, again, gravity, right? And here, this is another thing that I think they could be doing a little bit differently, right? This guy needs to be useful, right? If you're not going to be aggressive on this dunker, trying to get an offensive rebound or a dump down, back pick, right? And we'll let this play out. Joel Embiid gets this pass,
McCain, drive,
all the way around
Embiid,
again,
swing,
and Tyrese Maxey hits the shot. But realistically, right? Realistically, again, 4 defenders on him. Back pick. This creates a little bit more room for Joel Embiid to get a wide open shot around over here. Right? Joel Embiid is not at the point in his career where he could run down this lane and you know, make a play. So it really is onto these weak side guys, right? These weak side offensive players to try to be effective and impact the plays positively. And again, Maxey ends up hitting the shot over here. But again, they instead of standing around doing nothing, let's try to be proactive. Let's try to get guys shots.
McCain, drive, kick, Embiid,
He did
swing,
nothing that whole possession.
Maxey,
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Cat literally doesn't compete. He's getting bodied by a 6'7" rookie. It'd be like that, bro. It'd be like that. What's the last play over here? 4:30 in the third. All right.
And talking about rotations
Oh, this.
for logistics for the zone.
and this is what I love about Tyrese Maxey, because of he's so fast, is he can make the game so simple, right? Like this scenario, him throwing the ball to Joel Embiid, you know, it's a different effect from Steph, right? Because of Steph's ability to shoot. This is impactful because of how quick Tyrese Maxey is, right? He can turn this corner. If you overshoot it, he can get back here and you know, he could take a step back and get a shot off. He can get around the corner and try to get all the way to the rim. I mean, he ends up missing on this shot, but this really makes him, and you know, Joel Embiid being his duo, it makes it such a tough guard.
Coverage on the backside. Let's see how it
He
goes.
just misses the shot. Really, this game came down to him. He was just missing a bunch of threes. That's really what this game came down to. And I wanted to point this out as well. This was in the middle of Paul George's insane run in the third quarter. Let's take a look at this right here. So we have a Joel Embiid post up. Paul George was trying to set up some sort of screen.
Showing some of that
They double team him.
third quarter.
Paul George catches the ball right over here. And this, in my opinion, is the perfect scenario for, again, another slot cut for VJ Edgecombe, right? He can slot cut over here. Kelly Oubre could move up. And they could try to make a play. But instead,
Quarter struggle that we've seen all season.
Instead, we get
George
this
Green
shot out
will
of
just
Paul
rise
George, which he ends up hitting. But again, like, let's try to get some easier shots. Let's use our players' athleticism, right? Like, 2-on-1. Make Bobby Portis have to make a decision in this situation, or you get a foul.
Struggle that we've seen all season. It's George against
And he
Green.
ended up
He'll just
being on
rise
a
over the
heater.
top for 2 more.
He hits this three right here, which is,
It's George. He'll step into it. And bury a
and this,
three.
I think he hits the next one as well too.
Their 10th three of the evening.
The three-point shooting.
Jesus.
George lost Kuzma. He's got it.
So he was on a he was on a burner. He was on a Brunson burner for sure. But again, I really think that, you know, they could do a much better job of, as a team, attacking from those scenarios. You know, I think it's something that the Oklahoma City Thunder, for example, I think they do it very well as a team. You have guys constantly diving towards the basket, trying to be effective players, right? Trying to be impactful players instead of sitting there doing nothing. And, you know, they do their fair bit because you still have to space the floor out and use your shooting. But I feel like this team really does a good job of you know, making these plays consistently.
The first 24 minutes in that.
They double team Jalen Williams. Chet Holmgren is already on this run.
Nice play. Beautiful.
Right? And all it takes is this guy to not step up because he's worried about this, for Jalen Williams to get a step in. This guy's gonna drop also, and then Lou Dort would probably get a shot next. Again, just forcing the defense in constant rotations, right? Constantly forcing the defense to make a play. And again, not relying on these step back shots, not relying on hero plays. You know, make good basketball plays. Put yourself in a good position to be successful. Like that's what makes OKC look so good, right? Individually, these guys aren't necessarily the most talented players, but because they're constantly attacking, right, it makes them look good, right? You're cutting, you're getting your 20 points. Like it looks away. It's good basketball. You know, it's very good basketball. They don't rely on these step back fadeaways over three people constantly, right? But you know, what ended up becoming the real story from this was the altercation. So let's take a look at that. Not gonna lie, Brunson is in jail cell right now. Is Scotty guarding his ass? Jesus, bro. Let me see. Let's pull this up. All right, so this was the first point, and then Scotty's like the wall of China on Brunson right now. I mean, that's how you really got to guard Jalen Brunson. I've seen Gilbert Arenas say it time and again. If you are 6'7" or under, like Jalen Brunson got a package for that pause. Like he's built his game on being able to get good shots, good quality shots over guys that are 6'7". It don't matter if they're athletic, if they're tall and lanky, it doesn't matter. But you know, you get Scotty Barnes, athletic. Scotty's like what, 6'8"? Scotty 6'8". And talk about just a good defender with size and length. That's the only way. That's the only way you could try to get Jalen Brunson, and it helps if you can withstand some of his body shots, honestly. So let's take a look at this really quick, because they were getting chippy at OKC.
When I saw that, it just didn't look like it hit the rim at all. But he made sure that the officials got together, and now Jay Will and Sadiq Bey, before this play started, the two of them barking back and forth between one another. Something must have been said, because Jay Will, usually one of those guys.
Okay, nothing at all. There's a good look at it right there. Okay, they're just going at it. That's all. This is basketball. You know, football is a collision.
So, you know, I think this is just a matter of teams are trying to just get to go at, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Murphy trying to get loose for a three. Missed it. Battle for the rebound.
You just let this play out.
Near turnover. Don't want to foul. Murphy, no. Three, pops out. Now you just let him shoot it. It's loose. No need to foul. And now Dort and Fears engage in a little extra contact. Everybody coming off the bench, as this had been escalating here, as Dort and Fears tied up there at the end. And now the officials, everybody's going to have to look and see when this happened. I'm sure they're going to try to check as to whether or not it happened with time still on the clock. But you got both benches erupting over there. Dort and Fears, they're still...
All right, and this was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's reaction to this situation.
What was your point of view on the altercation after the game between Fears and Lou, and did you see that sort of bubbling up before?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what happened. I had heard like them going back and forth after I hit the last 2 free throws, but I wasn't sure what happened. And then I turned around and they were face to face. I'm sure it was nothing crazy though. Typical.
I see. I wonder because, you know, the game is over, right? The game is over. It's a 10-point lead in literally the final seconds of the game, and the Pelicans are still trying to get shots. They're trying to get offensive rebounds, and with that offensive rebounds by Jeremiah Fears, I wonder if this was a situation of, hey man, like, you just be sportsman, like the game's over, and you know, Jeremiah Fears wasn't backing down. I wonder if it was just that, and you know, things have kind of boiled over, which would lead to a number of these altercations because of end of the game stuff. But again, I think it's just teams also are testing the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? The Thunder have had a lot of comments on them versus the league, and I'm sure a lot of players and teams have kind of taken offense to that. So again, I wonder if that's all that is. But yeah, let's move right along to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, who everyone's trying to catch, which is the Detroit Pistons, and they barely get out of this one with a 109-107 victory. Tobias Harris had 22, Cade Cunningham had 22, Jamal Murray had 24, but let's take a look at this because he had some big time misses down the stretch of this game.
Murray should launch. They need a 3 to tie. Murray turns, fires,
And fouled.
oh my gosh, they fouled him.
Well, they don't have a timeout to challenge.
No, Jamal Murray.
I mean, that's a foul. First free throw.
Let him make the first.
Oh, game winner.
Goddamn.
There it is.
Makes the second one.
Murray's going to sling it up there. Nope, he rolls it in a 3 to tie.
He makes it.
Murray going to the corner, flies it up.
Another call for a foul. Makes the first one. And misses the second one short.
Unbelievable. Well, Green. Well, you could get a charge from Watson here too. Murray.
Tough way to lose a game if you are Denver, who's been playing pretty good basketball as of late. You know, I think this is just one of those things where Cade Cunningham just has a way of winning basketball games. I think he manages games very well. He gets very good shots down the stretch. Again, another person that creates a ton of gravity, right? With his size, with his skill. You know, he does a really good job of getting downhill, getting to the basket. And because of that, he gets good quality shots for himself, but he also really opens up the floor for his teammates. And, you know, we've seen time and again him in the fourth quarter be a rock for this team. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest scoring night, but he just does a really good job. He just does a really good job. Like this possession here, for example, right?
97-92.
348, you're up 97-92, right? You miss, and Denver goes down and hits a 3. 97-95 is a very different basketball game. He comes off of this slow dribble. he knows he has Jalen Duren, right? He knows he has Jalen Duren. Creates that little bit of space. Half spin into the floater, and I'm not gonna say that that's an easy shot because it's not, but it's a good shot for him at his size. He has, I would assume, the strength advantage in this situation, and he has the offensive rebounding from Jalen Duren if necessary. So just a really good shot selection right there. Staying aggressive, but again, we've seen a lot of guys try to get too deep into the paint and then end up putting up a bad shot. This is another one right here.
Nuggets trying to shut off Cunningham. Cunningham into the lane.
I mean,
and he drops it
that's
in.
just big time. That's just big time. But deeper than those shots, right? Because Denver, with all of that, still had an opportunity, right? In the middle of all of this, they still had an opportunity. And we see something absolutely egregious by Denver right here. 56.4 seconds left in the game. 103-102. Duncan Robinson is inbounding the basketball. Tobias Harris is getting a pick from Duren to get up top. There's two players on him. Duncan Robinson inbounds it. Cade Cunningham is just all the way over here by himself. And Duncan Robinson just runs to the basket. I mean, this is absolutely awful. Right? You cannot allow this to happen. You just cannot allow this to happen.
No, and Robinson straight to the glass. Hardaway doubled.
So, just not what you want to see if you're Denver. Again, I think the good part for them is Jamal Murray, outside of this game, has been really gaining a lot of confidence. He's been looking really comfortable. And again, I think that's something that Jokic really needs. We've seen Jokic put up insane numbers if he needs to, but I think he's a player that would rather play good basketball and move the ball around. And if guys are playing well, that's something that he'll be able to do. The other positive is Valanciunas. He's not Jokic, right? But he can do some similar things, right? In terms of build, in terms of speed, they're probably damn near the same. So he's able to give the Nuggets sort of the same look instead of changing their offense completely. So I think that'll actually make it easier for Jokic to come back. But yeah, man, tough loss. If you're Denver, man, that's a really tough loss. Dog, we getting our ass beat in this Knicks game right now. I don't like it. We got to see this, man, because this was insane. We got to take a look at this together.
Game magic right now.
That one, defense by Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes all the way.
Oh!
Jackson windmill it.
Jackson Hayes. What are you?
And a blowout.
But bottom, and then look at Jackson Hayes with the steal. Take it the distance.
Oh!
Take it the distance and do his trademark between the legs.
Goddamn. 24-16 right now with 1:56 in the first. Jesus. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. We don't like that at all. I'm not trying to learn Torontonian, bro. We're not trying to learn no Toronto language. We got enough of that with Drake. But again, like I don't love our offense right now, man. And I think it's unfortunate because Brunson's getting the blunt of he's getting the blunt of the blame, right? But I don't really think it's his fault. You can let me know what you think, Black Canadian. But I feel like it's a little unfair, the criticism that Jalen Brunson's been getting for this offense. It's not his fault that the motherfuckers want to pass him the ball every time the game go to shit. Right? Like, that's not his fault that every time the game start getting crazy, they start playing hot potato. Right? And the second best player, Karl Anthony Towns, you can't isolate him. He don't got an ISO bag like that. He can't drive because every time he drives, it's an offensive foul. It's he pissing me off, dog. Like bro. And because Cat keep getting into these offensive fouls, they can't run the pick and pop like they normally would. Right? Because now the teams are saying, all right, if they run a pick and pop, just run him off the 3-point line and we could just get a charge. Right? So now you as a team, you can't go to that often because all you're doing is putting Karl Anthony Towns at a disadvantage, right? Because teams know what to do. Right? They're going to run him off the 3-point line. They already know. You know the situations where he's trying to get a three, right? Transition threes and off that pick and pop. And teams are just saying, all right, we're going to run him off of that 3-point line and we'll take our chances with him going to the basket, right? Because he's more often than not going to turn the ball over by throwing it away or with an offensive foul. So it's really fucking it up. It's really fucking it up. And if you can't run the 5 out with Cat hitting threes, the little Iverson cut or like the little semi floppy cut, the pin downs that they be running from Mikal Bridges in the mid range, that don't work because now the mid range is all clogged up, right? It's all it really is a snowball effect in my opinion from Cat just not playing well, man. He don't got a post-up game, right? Like if Cat not doing a pick and pop or the transition three, he's rendered useless in my opinion. And I'm not gonna lie, like his trade value it's gotta be shit right now. His trade value's gotta be shit. I don't know what they gotta do, bro. I don't know. Hit up Houston or some shit. Try to go get a Men Thompson. I don't know, something. Yeah, shit. Like they got to do something. I think they just got to put a bunch of defensive players around Brunson. But the other thing too, and we were talking about it just earlier, right? I think teamwork is a big skill gap, right? Let me try to pull it up here. Where's the Thunder? Like a team like OKC, we showed the cut from Chet Holmgren, but excuse me, again, this is something that they do as a team pretty consistently, right? It's not just in transition. You got guys that aren't sitting there trying to settle for threes. Guys are constantly cutting. Again, making themselves, putting themselves in positions to be impactful. Let me see. I'm trying to find some scenarios right here for y'all. He ran through, got in the dunker. It's a 3 for Chet right there. Like, your stars are gonna do what they do, right? Your stars are gonna sit there and they're gonna take some tough shots. That's what they do. And it's on your role players to be proactive and try to get good shots, right? You could stand there and wait for shots to open up from your best player, but at the same time, you got to make good cuts. You got to delay cuts sometimes, right? Because, you know, sometimes you got to wait a second. You got to give it a second before you cut. I'm trying to find. That's a tough shot, Shay. Uh, 28-20. RC was good. Salute, bro. Was good. Was good. Was good. Was good. We're tuning into this Knicks Raptors game right now. We're tuning in right now. All right. Good shot for OG. That was a good shot. They doubled Brunson all the way at top. Shit. We're just leaving people open, man. We're literally just leaving people wide open. This shit's absurd. Brunson takes a quick 3 in transition. 28-22 is my score right now. And I'm probably a little bit behind. That's a foul. 2 of 14 from 3-point. 2 of 14 from 3. 2 of 14 from 3 already. Good cut on the fast break there for OG Anunoby. And to be honest, you know, we keep talking about good team basketball. I think it's a balance. Right? It's a balance of coaching and also, oh my God, that's a stupid foul by Mikal. It's a balance of coaching, and it's also a balance of you as an individual being proactive, right? And trying to make good plays and reading the game, right? There are a lot of people that sit there and watch their best players go in ISO instead of trying to put themselves in a better position. Jay, just go ahead and trade Katisha Towns for Giannis, bro. I don't know what to do, RC. I don't know what to do, man. This guy, it's not it, bro. I've had it with Cat, to be honest. Me too. He's put up a lot of stinkers lately. And again, RC, like, for me, the issue with some of these games where he's got 6 points, I can live with 5 for 20. I can live with bad shooting nights, right? It's him not being aggressive, or it's him taking himself out of games by the charge calls that he gets over and over and over again, and that he can't seem to learn from. But number two, the defense, you know, he's just constantly putting himself in foul trouble on both ends of the court. Right? It'd be one thing if it was just defensively, you play defense with your hands, you don't move your feet. But you're also getting offensive fouls constantly on the offensive side. It's just all bad. It is all bad. And this team, you know, it was kind of built off of you know, Brunson, and it was built off Brunson and Cat. Essentially, right? Cat's ability to shoot with Brunson's ability to make plays. Corner three for Clarkson. Good contest out of Grady Dick. Bro. This guy's putting up the bullshit. We gonna watch that back. I just saw Cat do a. I'm gonna have to turn this game off, dog. I just seen Cat do a 2-foot jump stop. We can't say he not capable. He just being, I don't know. And then Jordan Clarkson just put up a wild shot. That was a broken play into a sham at 3. Nice. Everything you said, plus his play just looks very awkward on offense. If he's not hitting threes, then mixing inconsistencies and up and down motor, crazy fouling. It's like, Cat, who are you? Yeah, it's been really, really bad. Right? Like, some people hate when people oversimplify the game, but there really is a level of, you know, this is how you want to attack, right? So if you're the New York Knicks, I would assume that the way their game plan breaks down is Brunson plays pick and roll, isolation, right? Those are where he operates. Pick and roll, isolation. Cat, pick and pop, transition threes. And then we've seen, at least before all of the offensive fouls constantly, Cat could pump fake, drive for you know, layup. After that, you have Mikal Bridges, who's kind of the one getting shots other than Jalen Brunson in the mid-range, right? If everyone's hitting threes, you'll see Mikal Bridges make Iverson cuts in the mid-range. They'll hit him at the free throw line. He'll dribble, do a fadeaway or a step back, right? He's been doing that, spotting up. He'll drive and try to make plays, right? OG Anunoby is their slasher / spot up shooter. Josh Hart is the guy that outside of Jalen Brunson is the guy that really scores in transition, right? We'll see Josh Hart get the rebound, dribble up the court, try to make a play. He's very good in transition. Everyone has those roles, right? Karl Anthony Towns not being able to have the pick and pop shot because teams know we're going to run him off the line and then he's going to potentially get an offensive foul. So now that takes away something that Jalen Brunson likes to do, right? Which is the high pick and roll. And then now it breaks it down because now there's less spacing in the mid-range, right? That takes away what Mikal Bridges likes to do in the mid-range. It clogs up the lane for Jalen Brunson. He doesn't have the spacing that he was having for a good portion of last year. So it really is the breakdown in the hierarchy that Karl Anthony Towns is really causing this team to spiral at the moment. And it feels like Jalen Brunson is putting his cape on and trying to play hero. But at his size, it is very hard to do. right? At his size, it's very hard to do, especially when you take into account they're going to target him on offense also. It just makes it very, very hard. OG Anunoby is really nice, but the next level dog in him is not always there. I'm just being honest and frank about it. OG is super, super solid. I agree. I'm someone that, I wasn't big on OG Anunoby when he first got in, when he first joined the Knicks. I will be honest. I think he's gotten a lot better, right? I got to give him a lot of, I got to give him a lot of credit. He's really worked on his game. You can tell his game is growing, but health has always been a concern. And to your point, needing him to take that next step, I don't think he has or will. So it really is a big question mark. So let's discuss it then, Jay. Would you attempt to move Cat, or are you willing to give it one more season? I would try to get off of Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, like, point blank period. I don't know what we would get back in return, especially right now. Like, had this been last season somehow, right? He was playing really well last year. Or maybe going into the year, because Cat had some really big moments in the playoffs. But if it's not a Giannis, shit, like a Lauri Markkanen, something. Imagine, I feel like Lauri Markkanen with Jalen Brunson goes kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like we see Lauri Markkanen can give you a little bit of everything. He can give you the 3-ball. His ability to drive under control would be a breath of fresh air from Cat. But also, he can work in the mid range. He can isolate. He could be a high pick and roll duo with Brunson. I think maybe a Lauri Markkanen would go really good with this offense. But I think it also allows Jalen Brunson to still be the number one guy, which, some people might say doesn't matter, but I think it does, right? I really do think it does. It's not good right now, man. Shit's not good right now. Turnover. That's a tough shot for BI. He got fouled. Man, these guys are a tough guard. They got a lot of size in Toronto. I'm not liking how this game is going, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not loving how this game is going, man. Shit. I'm gonna have to bitch out of this one. Fuck, man. Let's see here. Good swing out by Barnes. That's a good shot right there. He just missed it. Cat with the bound. Push up Brunson. Transition all the way. He makes it. End one. Oh, my Knicks. Oh, my Knicks. My New York Knicks, my New York Knicks. What are we gonna do, my New York Knicks? This is not good, bro. All right, man. These guys are checking me out right now. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we gonna be back here on Friday, man. We're gonna be back here on Friday. I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, man. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Black Canadian, for popping up in here. Thank you, RC. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate you, Brucey, Derpy. I know you were in here as well too, man. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so already. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you. I will see y'all back here on Friday. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Y'all have a beautiful Thursday, man.